Right, so the plan for today is the Ibiza doesn't get a full inspection. So basically what the plan is, we're going to give the car a quick wash just so we kind of like can get an idea of what the body looks like better, because I honestly don't know what last time it was washed. I know we don't need to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. So once that's done, we're going to jack the car up, take off all the wheels individually, check all the suspension for any play, any like major issues that will make it fail an MOT or anything like that. And once we've done that, I'll see if we can get the car started today as well, so I can let you know how it sounds and let you know how it runs to see if there are any problems there as well. And I'll just show you the lights from the dash as well, because we have an airbag light on and we have a engine management light as well, so that'll need rectified as well. So that's the plan for today, a full inspection. So let's get started. Also, if you are enjoying any of my videos, then make sure you please just give it a wee like, a wee thumbs up. It'll take what, 2 seconds, it's not a lot to ask. Just smash that thumbs up button, really appreciate it.
I'm gonna do to prove that everything you say.
Now, the plan of action is, now that the car's had a wash, when I give the car a visual inspection, we're just going to kind of go over the exterior and I'll show you what like the condition of the bodywork is in. And then when that's done, we will jack up the front, check all the major suspension components like trap rod ends, ball joints, any drop links, springs, all that kind of stuff. Make sure there's no play or anything that's like dangerous or anything like that. Then we'll take it from there. So let's crack on. Right, visual inspection first. Right, one thing it definitely needs is disc and pads all around, because I'm not sure if you've seen it in my last video, but they are absolutely shot. It's really difficult to see, but they are pretty shot. Now, something else very common on these cars is obviously the rusty wings, but that's only cosmetics, I'm not really worried about that. But also, these need 2 front tyres, because these are actually pretty much past the legal limit, I think. The rear ones are pretty much brand new, but the front ones will definitely need done. They'll definitely need replaced. Generally, the bodywork is actually in really good condition. I mean, there's no rust on the rear arches or in between the bumper and the body. The sills are good, so we're good there. Right, now moving to the rear. Now, the boot doesn't open because I think there's a wee mechanism that obviously comes from this handle and obviously disengages the lock inside the car. Now, I think something's gone wrong there. I think it's broken, I'm not too sure, because now I have to actually open it from the inside, so that will need looked at. I'll want to take off the panel in behind the boot and see what the problem is there. Now, as cool as a side exit exhaust is, I believe this car has a decat on it or something like that, so that will not pass an MOT. So, as good as this sounds for an MOT, I will need to change it to a standard downpipe / catalytic converter. The door lock, driver's side, doesn't lock. Not sure what the problem that is, I'm not too bothered about that, but I might get that looked at in the future. But it's just a matter of getting the car like mechanically perfect before we tackle these things. So, yeah, that's problem number 4. Door won't lock. Obviously the wing is rotten, as you can see, absolutely rotten. So like I said, it's only cosmetics, I'm not really too bothered about that. So that's kind of problem number 5. So on to the next one. Right, moving to the front, I do think the headlights will need some sort of obviously restoration, because they are quite hazy. So I've got a restore kit in the shed, so I can restore the headlights. So expect to see that in a future video, is obviously restoring the headlights in the car. So on to the next one. Right, now that we've done a visual inspection, we'll jack up the front end, take off the front wheels, check for any play in the suspension and other things like that. So let's crack on. Right, so there's a tiny bit of play in the truck rod end, but that's actually nothing serious. We'll check that out in a minute. Obviously there's no major play. The spring seems okay. It actually looks relatively new, and there's no broken coils at the bottom. There's no like movement in it at all, so we're good there. So let's take off this wheel and see what is behind it. Actually, change of plan. I'm not going to bother taking off the front wheels because unfortunately I don't have my impact gun with me, and it's going to take forever to take all the bolts out and honestly, it's going to get dark soon, so I don't want to really mess about with that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get a torch, a really bright one at that. I'm going to go into the car at the front, check everything for any leaks, we'll check the suspension and the general condition of the suspension. So let's crack on. Right, now let's have a look at everything now. Even though everything's quite corroded, everything looks not too bad. I might need to give obviously the brake pipes a bit of a clean because they're a bit some surface rust on them, but obviously no major corrosion. The drop links, I've had a wee pull of them and they're quite solid. The wishbones are corroded, but yet again, nothing major there. The CV boots are also in okay condition as well. There's no cracks or anything like that. Same with that side as well. A little bit of perishing at one end, but nothing major. Yeah, a small oil leak here, but like I said, it doesn't look anything major. Now, the exhaust does look to have been modified at some point because there's like heat wrap and a lot in it, and I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't look in the best of condition, so you replace that at some point as well, but obviously for the MOT, because yeah, by the looks of it, it has been obviously had something cut out of it at some point, and obviously just a bit straight bit of pipe welded in, so yeah, that'll need to be replaced at some point as well. So right, now onto the driver's side. Right, the spring seems okay, no broken coils, no play in that at all, so that seems good. There seems to be absolutely no play in the front wheel at all from obviously the bottom ball joint and truck end, so we're good there. Right, now we're onto the driver's side. Everything seems okay as well. Even though everything is corroded, everything seems to be fine. There's no, anything wrong here. There's no play in anything at all. As always, I might just give the brake hose a bit of a clean up, and apart from that, I think we're all good. Right, moving to the rear. Yeah, again, everything here seems to be okay. As always, things will be corroded because it's an old car, but yeah, the springs seem okay. These calipers look like they've been replaced at some point because they look quite silver, so I find a feeling these were replaced maybe within a year or so, something like that. And also the shocks look pretty bad as well, but I mean, I'll check them for play another time, but they'll probably be okay. Kind of the same side on the passenger side as well. Spring seems okay. Even this side brake caliper looks like it's been replaced. It's not kind of silver colour, so yeah, I find a feeling the brake calipers were replaced on this car at some point. Right, we've given the underside a quick inspection. Like I said, it's getting dark, so it wasn't too thorough, but we give it a rough inspection, so like I said, we do have a rough idea of what we need to replace and what we don't need to replace. So now, we're going to go into the interior. I'm going to try and start the car, so I'm going to show you the lights we have on the dashboard, obviously, and just show you what else is wrong. So, let's try and start this thing. Right, as you see, it does take ages to start, but now, this is where I need your advice. I'm not too sure what this light is here. If someone can tell me in the comment section, that'd be greatly appreciated. But we have an airbag light on now. I believe that is caused by there's two plugs underneath these seats, which obviously plug into the airbag kind of. I'm not too sure. And because there's a plug underneath the seats not plugged in, that is why we have our airbag light on. Right, as for the engine mount light, I'm not too sure yet. It could be because obviously there's a decal on it and things like that. So that's what I believe to be the problems with here anyway. So actually, while we're in here, this is something else that needs replaced. Now, the handbrake is absolutely shot, so just for reference, the handbrake cables might need to be adjusted or replaced because there's like heaps of travel and it barely holds the car. So as for reference, the handbrake cable might need replaced or adjusted. Right, now that the inspection's done, we can go over a list of literally everything that we found, literally everything that is wrong with the car and that needs done. Now, also, I want to go over how much it's going to cost to get all this done, and obviously how much it's going to cost for the parts and all that, because obviously I'm going to do all the work myself and all that kind of stuff. So, let's go to this list and see how much it's going to cost and all that needs done. Right, the first thing that I might have mentioned, I think it was in my last video, is the discs and pads. Now, the discs are absolutely shot. I mean, they're all pitted, they're all rusted and corroded, so now, I priced that at about £108, which is not too bad for all four corners with discs, pads, the lot. So that's the first thing, and it's not too expensive, so that's number one. Number two, now, it's the exhaust system. Now, I'm not too sure about this. I might be able to get a friendly MOT, but if I do need to change it to a standard exhaust system, that might cost roughly about, what, £150 to £200. That's just a rough figure. It's not accurate, it's just a rough figure. So, that's problem number two, because it's got a decal on it. That won't pass an MOT. Okay, number three is the boot lock mechanism. Now, apparently cars can't fail MOTs if the boot doesn't open because something to do with the inspection. The tester needs to check for corrosion in the boot and if the spare wheel's there, things like that. So that will need fixed. Now, I did price a brand new boot lock mechanism, and I think it was around £17, so that's not bad either. So, yep, that's problem number 3. Now, problem number 4 is, again, not a bad one. That's 2 front tyres. The ones on the front, the tread's pretty low, so I think that's past the minimum tread depth. Now, for 2 front tyres, I'm probably just going to go for maybe part warns with at least about 4mm of tread. That'll cost roughly around about 50, maybe to 60, £80 roughly. So again, that's problem number 3, no, 4. Problem number 5, which is the headlights. Now, I don't think they'll fill an MLT, but at the end of the day, I'm still going to restore them because they don't look very good, and I like to do most things properly. So we're going to fully restore the headlights so they're nice and clear and they look good. Now, I've got a restoring kit in the shed. Now, that won't cost me anything, so that's free. So that's problem number 5. Problem number 6, which is the airbag light. Now, that's caused by, there's these plugs underneath the seat. Now, I think that's for the seatbelt tensioner or something like that. They basically plugged in, but they're not the same plugs, so because they're not the original seat. So I'm not too sure what to do with that yet. I might need to get different seatbelt tensioners or something like that. So I will source that in the future. That's not a problem. So that's problem number 6. Now, problem number 7 is the engine management light. Now, that could literally be anything. Now, I think tomorrow I might be getting a diagnostics done on it. So from that point on, we'll find out exactly what's wrong with it, and I will discuss that in a future video. But I think that's down to it's got a decat on it. Yeah, again, not a problem. That can get fixed. So that's problem number 7. Problem number 6 is we've got a starting issue. You might have seen that in probably this video when I tried to start it. It takes ages to start. Now, I think that's the glow plugs, because I found out actually after I did that video, the light that's flashing on the dash, turns out that's the glow plug lights or something to do with that. I priced that at around £32 for Bosch ones and about £11 for like budget ones. So that's basically where we're at with that. So that's problem number 8. Now, problem number 9, which yeah, again isn't really a problem, but it's something I might replace in the future, is there's a little bit of play in the gear linkage. Now, I tracked that down to like a worn bush on top of the gearbox itself. Yeah, again, not really a problem. I might just get that replaced some point. No rush at all, because there's other things that are being done. But that'll cost roughly about £15 to £20 for a replacement bush off eBay. Right, the last problem that'll probably need rectified, but yeah, again, it's not really an MLT failure or anything like that. It's not even a problem, but it doesn't bother me, but I might get it fixed. And that is the driver's door lock. It just doesn't lock at all. I don't know what's wrong with it, but these things are common. All these kind of like German cars, whatever you want to call them, because that Seat basically is a Golf. But you can get, I think it's a repair kit on eBay for like £4. I'd rather do that than just get a whole new lock, because that means I need to change the key and get new keys made and all that fucking nonsense. So that's where we're at with that. So I think that's pretty much everything covered now. Right, so that's that. That does it for this video. Now, if you did like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.